Inside the Bible, Genesis chapter 6. The sin of individualism. Qyltora is the creator of forensic Gothic profiling. Humanity did not merely drift from God, it mutated. Genesis 6 is the forensic record of a civilization that drowned long before the floodwaters rose. Drowned in self-worship, drowned in violence, drowned in the swamp of individualism. What God crafted in beauty had decomposed into something monstrous. The swamp of the self. When love for God dies, love for people dies next. And when both are gone, the human heart becomes a predator. The scripture describes the condition with surgical brutality. Every inclination of the thoughts of the human heart was only evil all the time. Genesis chapter 6 and verse 5. Violence as culture. In a world where every person is their own highest authority, violence becomes the only language everyone understands. Violence is not an event, it is the atmosphere. The strong expand their reach through brutality. The weak collapse under it. Justice becomes a myth. Peace becomes impossible. This is the swamp. Imagine a world where cravings beat fairness, and ego turns into corruption. The God who grieved. The horror of Genesis chapter 6 is not only human, it is divine. God does not respond with rage. He responds with grief. The Lord regretted that he had made human beings, and his heart was deeply troubled. Genesis chapter 6 and verse 6. This is the sorrow of a creator watching his masterpiece rot. The world he designed for communion had become a landscape of solitary predators. The earth he formed for harmony had become a violent swamp. God's grief is the emotional autopsy of Genesis chapter 6, a window into divine heartbreak over human self-destruction. The divine search through the swamp. Then comes the most haunting moment in the chapter. God searches. He scans the earth for even one human whose heart has not been swallowed by the swamp. One person who still breathes reverence. One soul whose desires have not decomposed into violence. And he finds him. But Noah found favor in the eyes of the Lord. Noah was a righteous man, and he walked faithfully with God. Genesis chapter 6 and verses 8 and 9. Noah is the anomaly, the forensic exception. The one human whose internal ecosystem is not a swamp but a sanctuary. The swamp and the flood. The flood is not divine overreaction. It is divine mercy. A world that has drowned in itself cannot be healed. It must be cleansed. Genesis chapter 6 is the autopsy of a civilization that died from worshiping the self. The flood is the burial, and Noah, the anomaly, becomes the seed of a new world. The swamp still whispers. Genesis chapter 6 is not ancient. It is diagnostic. Every modern headline echoes its pathology. People living beside each other, but not with each other. Empathy treated as optional. Community treated as inconvenience. Pleasure treated as purpose. The self treated as the only throne worth defending. The horror of Genesis chapter 6 is not the flood. It is the world that required one. Qyltora is the creator of forensic Gothic profiling, a method, not a review style. While others review, recap, and react, Qyltora investigates. Every character, film, television show, song, and cultural moment becomes a psychological case file. Forensic means examining the evidence beyond appearances. Gothic explores the hidden darkness of the human mind. Profiling identifies patterns of motive, obsession, betrayal, manipulation, power, fear, weakness, and madness. Together they form a singular framework that cuts beneath behavior to expose what is really happening. Qyltora did not borrow a lane, it built one. Qyltora, creator of forensic Gothic profiling.